All right. Hey. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, and welcome once again to the Noontime My Time podcast. It is Talk It Out Tuesday with Tori and MsTonya. I'm MsTonya. And today we got something that we need to talk about. There's just so many things going on in these internet streets. And I don't know if we're taking advantage of learning something from them and having the larger conversation, or if we are just interested in the gossip of it all. Is that what we're doing here? You know, I'm the type of person, I want to learn something. I want to learn something, and I feel like there is something to learn from every situation. I want to look at something. I want to be able to learn something from that. I can take something from it. I don't need to just know it just for knowing's sake. What can this information do for me? And today's topic, we're talking about love or let go. Love or let go. Navigating the signs of when it's time to move on. And there are some celebrity relationships that are being talked about in the internet streets here with young women that we're watching go through certain situations. We're watching their dating life. We're watching that whole dating scene. One is Keke Palmer and the other is Lori Harvey. So there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot that we could talk about. And I want you to join us in this conversation. I want you to get in the chat, and I want you to share what your feelings are about it, but what some of your experiences may have been. What are some lessons you know as it regards to these particular situations? Something that you can share with someone that might help someone else. We're not just here to have a gossip conversation. So let's be clear about that. We want to talk about the dating scene from the red flags to personal growth. We're going to dive deep into recognizing when to say goodbye and embrace the next chapter of love. I want you to get ready for a real conversation, to share some wisdom, sprinkle a little bit of self-love in there. It's time for us to empower our hearts. Love or let go. Dating wisdom, dating diaries, #modern love. All of those things, that's what we need to be doing here. But you know what we always do before we get into the conversation? We take just that little bit of time for ourselves. Less than a few minutes to kind of center ourselves. Figure out where we are in our day. So we do a little breath work. That's what we're going to do right now. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? Take your time. Take your time. It feels real good. I want us to get into this conversation, and I want us to take it seriously. We should. Love or let go, navigating those signs of when it's time to move on. It's Talk It Out Tuesday. We're on episode 119. And you know what that means? We've got Tori in the building with us here today. Let me bring Tori on into the conversation. How you doing, Tori?
What up? What up? What up? It's Tuesday. I'm ready for this conversation. This is going to be rather interesting.
Yeah. I agree with you. It is definitely going to be an interesting conversation because there's just a whole lot that's always going on in the internet streets. We have to kind of accept that already. That's just what it's going to be. So my thought is, what are we going to do with this information? How are we going to use this information? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. What can we learn from this information?
What do you think, Tori? You see what's going on with Kiki?
Wait a minute, what happened with Kiki? I know about Lori Harvey, but not something else happened with Kiki. Bring me up.
Oh, wow.
Bring me up to speed.
Okay, well, she's now in this battle, it seems, with her ex. There seems to be some alleged abuse allegations going on out here. Some of the things that a lot of us were talking about in the beginning when we felt like we saw a few red flags there, and I don't know what to say about it other than some of us were trying to say, listen, there's some red flags out here. Let's pay attention to this. Some people were saying, girl, Kiki, you need to run, girl, So that's where we are with that. And it seems like she has, there's been some pictures that are posted where it appears that he is doing some physical abuse. There seems to be some talk out here. And, this is alleged. Everything has to go through the court, the legal court, and not just the court of opinion that we all get involved in when we're online here with our microphones and our opinions. But yeah. So you missed all of that.
Indeed. So there's pictures and everything? Oh my goodness.
There's screenshots from a security camera. So, that's a whole lot. Oh. I see we got some people in the building already. We going to tell them hello real quick. I see KJ in here. She says, hey, how you doing, KJ?
KJ?
Mm-hmm. Also, we got Tanya Joseph in the building. Good afternoon, lady.
What's up, Tanya?
Also, we've got Kimberly out in California on that West Coast time with us here. She said, don't make me log off before y'all get started good.
What? Don't log off.
Stay with us. But yeah, that's what's going on, Tori. And of course, with Lori, people are having that opinion of, the fact that she seems to attach and detach from relationships, and she moves right on accordingly. You know what I mean? And some people have a problem with that. People are voicing their opinion. They want to call the girl all out her name, like she's doing something that, they're calling her garden tools, if you know what I'm trying to say, without having to say that, because I absolutely do not agree with that. Yeah. So where you want to start?
Listen, you got more information than me, so I'm gonna let you start.
Well, okay. Well, I want to say this. I want to say this. I think that dating is a time of discovery. You're discovering if this is a person that you want to be with, right? And you're supposed to be out there. You're supposed to be dating. It's somewhat of a little adventure. That's your path to finding love if that's what you're looking for. And I just feel like, you've got to be able to make those moves. And I feel like what you feel is good for you should be good for you, as it relates to the red flags that we were talking about as it refers to Kiki, because you do remember this because we talked about it when he shamed her in public for how she was dressed. So a lot of people were saying like, hey, listen, if he's going to shame her like that publicly, that's a red flag. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I think we had this conversation before, where if there's an issue, we're not gonna address it in public. Like you said, they're gonna know I'm mad,
Right.
but you don't address it in public. No, we gonna wait till we get to the house or in the car. But
Right.
yeah. So yeah.
So that's the thing. And so that just goes to say, like, look, if he's going to do that in public, you can only imagine what is going to be done behind closed doors, because you never know what's going on behind those closed doors.
Right. Hey Tina, she says, "Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing?" Erica says, "Hey Tanya and Tori, what's up, Erica?"
Hey, lady, how you doing?
And Lindsay, what's up, Lindsay? Lindsay says, "Ladies, totally agree." Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to those red flags, young lady, young women, if we could express to you that you've got to look at those communication breakdowns. When you're not able to resolve your conflicts, when you're not able to be open, when you can't be honest, when you can't express yourself and your true emotions, that is a problem. When you're rocking around on eggshells because you don't want to upset him, it's like you know what his triggers are, and you're really catering to those triggers because you know that it's going to set him off. That's a red flag, baby. Pay attention to, yeah, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
You're literally walking around on eggshells. You don't know when he's going to trip off, what he's going to trip off on. And some of the things that are coming out, Tori, he took her diaries. He read her diaries. She had been writing diaries since she was like, I think it was 12 years old. Don't hold me to that.
What?
But yes, and destroyed them. He destroyed personal memorabilia of things that she's had and for numbers of years. And she was a kid who grew up in the industry, so she had things that were sentimental, and he destroyed those. You know what I'm saying?
God. Yeah, the baby was talking, so that's why I had my mic muted. But I can't. What? He destroyed her personal from. Oh my God.
Destroying things. So when you see those type of behaviors, when you see that type of jealousy, there's a problem. You got to watch people behavior when they've got like any type of suspicious behavior, when they're quite honestly jealous of you.
Oh, I can't believe he. Oh, I want to say something too, but I can't say what I want to say. Tina says, "Get out."
Listen.
And Isaac says, "I have so much to say, but I'll talk to y'all privately because this story is." Wait a minute, what that mean? Oh, is that cap? Is that a cap? Because I don't have my glasses on. But I do agree with the topic, though. Keep in mind, this all what Kiki is saying.
Well, okay, Isaac, respect. I can understand and I can read in between the lines of what you're saying here, and that's why I said alleged. And that's why I also said that there are lessons here to learn from the stories that are out here. There's a larger conversation than the actual specifics of these particular relationships, because we really don't know the story. We don't know. But from what we are being, bombarded with what can we take from this and what can we learn from that. So respect.
And then I'm looking at the next comment. Ms. Bromell says, red flags are indicators of areas in people's lives where they need help, healing, and or guidance.
That's true. But when you're in that relationship with the person, you're not the one who can help them. You're not the one who can guide them. You need to guide yourself away from that person because you're putting yourself in a danger. This person, when a person has control issues, they've got this excessive need for control. When you find that you're isolated from your family or your friends, that's a red flag. You got to pay attention to those things. They've got manipulative behavior. You got to know.
I run from those situations, even friendships that's like that too. Kay just says, take off the rose-colored glasses and get out of there.
Yes, that's not love. That's not love. You are able to move on. That is why there is a thing called breakup. That is why I wanted to have, within the same conversation, I wanted to talk about Lori Harvey. Because if it's not working for Lori, she getting ready to move on.
Quick, too.
Okay? She gonna move on and she gonna find her another love.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at her. So, we can flip-flop in between this conversation because we're adults here. We can talk about more than one specific topic at a time. But I don't have a problem with it.
And the next comment, you see, Lindsay says, there are videos out there that show him being abusive towards her. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have to say that.
Allegedly. Yeah. Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Because that's what Isaac is, trying to refer to. And there's this whole thing where we've got the men versus the women. And, he's saying this cap. And I really do want us to get beyond that. And I think that particular mindset is what is putting so many of us in so much danger. You know what I mean? Because it's like we don't want to believe people. We don't want to listen or recognize some signs. Like, there's some signs. Everybody's done some stuff in relationships. I mean, I can't say that there aren't things that she has or hasn't done. I understand that a relationship is two-way, but we very publicly saw that he found it important to shame her in public. Before she dated him, she never talked about her relationships online. Think about that. Think about, we never knew anything about Kiki's personal life online. You know what I'm saying? So why all of a sudden that she's dating this guy who isn't necessarily someone of a status that we would immediately know, not saying that has to be the case, but all of a sudden now he's in her feed. She never talked about her relationships before. This is a beautiful young girl. I'm sure she's had relationships before. So why didn't she show any of them? What's so different about him? Did he manipulate her into doing that? Because see, he needs to be known. And I can speak from a personal experience. I know men who have been upset because they haven't been on my timeline. And that's a red flag for me, because why do you need people to know anything about that? So I know what that's like. So I thought that. I'm like, okay, well, her personal life has always been private. Now we've got this nobody guy showing up on the timeline. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to be thinking about that. You understand?
Interesting. You're right.
And it's not necessarily to feel like I'm right. I just want to bring a point. I just want people to look at that, because now that gives him somebody to be. That gives him some authority within this relationship, whereas he didn't have any necessarily, besides being her boyfriend, the father of her baby, which is a very significant role. And he could have played this role in such a very loving way that I wish that we were talking about this particular story. Do you know how great I would feel right now if we could say, Kiki got involved with a young man who wasn't necessarily in the industry. She is the breadwinner. He decided to be a stay-at-home father. Look at the love and care he puts into his family, how he uplifts his family, you know? But that's not the conversation we're having. And I don't think people are paying attention to that either. Because it wasn't necessary for us to know who he was. But we know she had a baby. It could have been right there. He could have just done that. But that's not how it played out. So we've got to look at those. Those are red flags to me as well. Those are toxic type things to me too. Why was it important for him to be displayed? He didn't have to be.
Not at all. Not at all. Because if people looking for me to put somebody on the timeline, if there's somebody need to be on my timeline, that ain't finna happen.
Girl,
My
it
private life
happens.
remains private.
Listen, grown but men. Because I'm not young. So if I'm telling you that, then I'm
Right.
talking about grown but men. Because I'm not dating, I'm not a cougar. You understand me?
Yes, yes, yes. And Lindsay says very true. And then did you do the timestamp is 12:16. Miss Bromel, she says, um, golly, I don't have my glasses. You see the time? Okay. She says, I agree, but if your mind got him into this situation, it will take another mind to get him out. He still needs to be held accountable and he still has to do the work, but he needs help.
Oh, absolutely. He needs help and she needs help as well. And that's why I think having these type of conversations are important because we need young women to be able to like KJ said, take off those rose-colored glasses and know what those signs are, so that you know that you need to get out. Now,
Right.
we KJ also has a comment here about Lori, so we're gonna flip to that side for a minute.
And KJ says, Laura is that girl, and I love it. I was only ever upset with her for dating the man of my dreams. I was laughing.
Oh my goodness.
I'm curious, KJ, who was the man of your dreams? Did she date Idris Elba? Because you know that was all of our dreams.
She better not be. She better not be talking about no Idris Elba. It better be somebody on the younger scale.
And KJ also says, but she's actually dating, and when that relationship no longer serves her, she moves on. I see nothing wrong with that. Plus, she stays out of scandal and drama with these men. That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can we say that again? Plus, she stays out of drama with them. Nobody come out with all of these horror. You don't hear any horror stories about it. The only thing you know that she has moved on, and I need another love. She done found one. You understand me?
Yeah, she found him quick. Yeah. And Voodoo Child, let me see what he's gonna say. People are hypocritical. We ignore red flags all the time to satisfy whatever it is we want from that person: sex, money, emotional support, etc. Oh, that's very true. I
He's
thought he was gonna say something smart,
well.
but
What
that's
he
true
said is
though.
smart, actually.
You know
you
how
know.
he's sarcastic.
I know, but still, he's right though.
Yeah,
We ignore those flags because there is something that we want, or there's something that you want that you have put above your own safety, your own integrity, and it's just not worth it.
right. And KJ says that's a good point. Kiki has always been in the spotlight, but still private. Her shine may have been intimidating to him. He probably wanted to be seen. And you know what? Did she
Hmm.
say that? Oh Lord, when she said that just now, I got triggered because years ago when I started out in radio in my 20s, I had someone to tell me that they feel like I was shining a little bit too much for them. I was over
Mm-mm.
they felt like I was outshining them. I'm like, "Huh? What? We all in this together. What are you talking about?" It was like, "I feel like, you pulling some of my listeners," and I'm like, "What?" It was humorous to me. I was like, "Wow." But yeah, you can be literally some situations where you are literally sleeping with the enemy. And the man is actually jealous of the woman. Because when the dude said that to me, it was somebody that I was involved with. When they said that to me, I'm like, really? Is that how you really feel? Wow. It blew me away. Blew me away. It was funny to me. But anyway, I digress.
I
Back to
understand. I
yeah.
understand.
And KJ says, we no longer acknowledge said man of my dreams. I woke up. Okay.
All right.
Okay. And then Kimberly says, see, society wants to ridicule people like Laura who date and move on. That's what dating is. Yep, exactly.
Exactly. That's what dating is. They want people, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation with both of these relationships at the same time, because society is ridiculing Lori out of one side of their neck for moving on, right? Which means they want her to stay in a relationship, a long-term relationship, make it work. Whereas Kiki was staying in a relationship and trying to make it work. And
Right.
you
Right.
understand?
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Kay just said, Tori, I had a guy tell me I was doing too much. I was just being me and accomplishing goals. Dude, step your game up. Don't know what else to tell you. You know what? Yeah. You doing too much. You just out here crushing goals, but you doing too much. Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't the one, KJ. That wasn't the one. Tanya, Joseph says, exactly. I tell people all the time, sleeping with the enemy. I'm trying to tell you. Sleeping with the enemy. Kimberly says, too many of us stand around till we miserable or the danger zone. Been there, done that. That is so true.
You
Now, if it ain't serving me, goodbye.
you gotta go. You have to go. There is nothing wrong with moving on. Moving on allows you to, in fact, that moving on is helping you grow. That moving on is for your self-discovery because you've already discovered, like, hey, you've seen the signs, you realize that this is not working. And you move on because you need to have new experiences. New relationships are going to, like, provide a new opportunity for you to learn something else and perhaps find that person if that's what you can make work. You know, do some emotional healing. You know, let go of that relationship. You know, it's definitely going to open you up to just a better way. Well, how should I say this? I don't want to say this. Opening up to new people, opening up to new connections. You got to be able to do that. Don't be afraid of that. And I think women are particularly afraid to do that because they don't want to be labeled a ho, 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 Merry Christmas, you know?
Right, 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 right.
And that's not what it's about.
And what Voodoo Child is saying is very true. Do you see his timestamp 1226 says women do what Laura is doing all the time. Their father's just not Steve Harvey. That is so true.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you should do.
And Voodoo Child also says, and look at Steve Harvey's married life.
Right.
What that mean?
Well, I mean, everybody had, I think he's probably saying because Steve has had a few women in marriages and things of that nature. And he also has different things going on in the gossip of what's going on with his marriage. But relationships go through that. And everyone knows that. No one has a perfect relationship. But the bigger thing for me is that it's not so much about having the perfect relationship. It's about knowing when to get out of unhealthy relationships, recognizing when you have to end that relationship because the healthy boundaries just don't exist. You know, you've got a lot of toxic things happening in your life. You can't live like that. And the relationship is not fulfilling. You're staying in a relationship trying to make it work because maybe you have a kid. And we've all heard about that. I know what that is. A lot of people know what that is. A lot of people stay because of kids. A lot of people try to make relationships work because of kids. Let's be honest about that. It seems like to me like one of the most dangerous things that could happen in a woman's life is to become pregnant. And I can say that for several different reasons because of the actual danger of that physically. Yes, we have some high mortality rates as it relates to pregnancy and delivery, statistically speaking, as well as that danger of being, making decisions like this to stay in toxic relationships and put yourself and your children in danger is outrageous. Whether people realize it or not, a lot of people will talk about how women try to trap men with a baby. But let me tell you something. Men do the same thing. Men have trapped many women with babies, and I would suspect much more than conversation allows, because it's just not a conversation that we have openly been having. You become pregnant and you really try to make it work with this man because you really want to try to make it work as a family. That's dangerous. You dig what I'm saying? If you feel like, hey, listen, if you feel like you got something to add to that, if you want to build something on that, come on in and let me know. I see Tanya here. She says, what are we going to do with the master manipulators around us? The ones who want a relationship but know good and well they aren't fully ready. Self-love comes first. You're right. You're absolutely right. I can't disagree with you there. I can't. The best thing that I can tell you is that we've got to recognize those signs and we got to move on. KJ here says men are also out here doing what Lori is doing, and they receive praise. And I'm glad you said that, KJ, because by you saying that reminded me of, and I think a perfect example of this right now, somebody had left this on my page. Let me see if I can find it. Speaking of which, let us talk about this dude right here. Where is the comment? I'm scrolling, y'all. I'm scrolling trying to find this comment. Oh, here we go. Let me bring it up. This dude right here. Comment. And this comment was made in reference to the same topic that we're talking about when we were talking about Lori. And Craig Boatwright made this comment. He said, this ma been running wild for years, and his list is impeccable. Look at Common. He's here with Erykah Badu, Venus Williams, Taraji, also with Angela here. We also know him to have been with Tiffany Haddish, and there's more. But nobody's talking about him like how you're talking about Lori. So thanks for bringing that up, KJ. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It happens. So we gotta be honest about this. All right. I also see that we have got another comment up here. Most of these red flags are spiritual demons, but that's a deeper revelation. Listen, you can take it into wherever you want to take it, spiritually, religiously, whatever. I just want you to recognize the signs, and I just want you to know that you need to get it. Girl, you in danger. You need to go. I see we got another comment here.
I'm laughing at her comment.
Which one?
I'm telling you, the one you got put, he's living up to his name, LOL Common.
Ooh. You're making me giggle. Yeah. So why are we not, Common and Lori pretty much doing the same thing? A lot of us are doing that same thing.
That was funny to me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I want to know if you guys are really honest with yourselves as it relates to your own happiness, right? So you're dating someone and they're offering you this new excitement or this new opportunity to do different things, but do you really give yourself a check? Do you really ask yourself, like, what is it that I want? What do I want from this person? Are we compatible? Are you having a compatibility check? Do you really share values? What is it that make you feel like you align with this person? Are they helping you become a better person? Are they helping you reach your goals? Do they have goals? Or are they making you feel bad for having goals? Because if they are, you got to know that that's a red flag, girl. You're in danger, girl.
Definitely in danger.
Yeah.
And Kimberly says, normalize women moving on like men do for whatever reason. Absolutely. Women can move on just like men do.
And should. Why should you waste so much of life already is short. And if you are staying in these long-term relationships with anyone and it's not working for the sake of saying that you're in a long-term relationship, I find that ridiculous. You're not you wasting all your good years. You better get out here and enjoy some life and have some fun. And understand what it's like to closure. Can we look up closure? Can we look that up? Can we understand that letting go is that opportunity for closure? You don't need nobody to tell you nothing or to settle nothing up with you. Just let that go because it's not working. All right? Accept it. There is a point in that breakup that you have to come to realize, and you have to accept that this relationship is over. This relationship does not serve me. It doesn't. And when you know that it doesn't serve you, and if you really feel like, okay, it doesn't serve you, and if you feel like you love that person, and then in the back of your mind, you know it's not serving you. If you love that person, let them go. Let them find someone else who is going to be compatible with what it is that they got going on. Right? Both parties need to move forward without any lingering emotional ties, without feeling like you're owed a certain explanation for the closure. Move on.
And is closure really necessary?
Speak on it.
It's not. Just move on. Just move on. And then that's the comment I was just looking at. KJ says an insecure man in the dating pool is a dangerous man. Ooh, yes, sir.
Lord have mercy. If I didn't know this girl mama, I'd ask her who raised her. Now that is the statement of this whole conversation right here. and I'm going to go ahead with the men to allow them this so that I won't have these comments come through here for their insecurities of saying insecure women too. Okay, insecure people in the dating pool is very dangerous. Specifically why I know that KJ said insecure men in the dating pool is a dangerous man because number one, she's a woman who dates men. Number two, we're talking about women in relationships right here. So let's not always be so quick to take this on the men versus women, but we get it. But it is. Because that's what I'm saying. If we just simply look back to the fact that Kiki had a very private dating life, and all of a sudden Mr. Nobody shows up, and he the father, and he all up on her page. Girl, please.
And KJ says, I listened to Nia Long and Jeezy talk, and Nia says she forgives for her and sends people loving vibrations and keeps it pushing. Closure, the way people think about it, is not always necessary. Yeah, that's what I mean. The way people think about it, it's not necessary. Yeah. And I want to see, I gotta see where that full interview. I just saw like a clip of Nia and Jeezy on TikTok. I want to know where the full. I want to see the full.
It's on YouTube. It's on Jeezy's page, and it's not really an interview. It's a conversation. And in fact, I really like the way that that is produced. To be honest, some people were having a problem with it because they felt like it was edited too much. But it's a produced show. It's a conversation. It's not really an interview. But I think it was well done, and I actually enjoyed the conversation. I really did.
I got to find that. Okay. And Barbara Bryant says, great topic. We often stay in relationships for the wrong reasons and make ourselves miserable.
Right. We do.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do that. Embrace that change. Transition to a new relationship. Take something from Lori. That's why I couple these together. When you see those red flags, like the red flags that we saw with Kiki, you better do a Lori. And you better move on. Transition. Find you another. Okay? Evolve. And if you want to take a break, take a break. But you don't have to, and you don't have to like whatever the gap between your relationships are, that's up to you. Because as far as I'm concerned, as far as dating is concerned, you could literally be dating more than one person at the same time. You can. So let's change that whole narrative that you have to be with one person when you're dating. You're not married. You haven't made a commitment to someone. What if you haven't done that? Date how you need to date. Please date how you need to date. But know that you have to, move on. Know that it is okay to transition into a new relationship. Embrace that change. You're gonna find a new person, new romantic connections. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're saying like, okay, well, this relationship didn't work and you're all in the dumps and you stay in the dumps for however long because you feel like everybody is going to be like this, then you're doing that to yourself too. Don't do that. Be willing to move on. Be willing to accept new possibilities of love. Don't blame what that last man did on the next man. Yes, pay attention to the signs. You're supposed to recognize those signs. You were supposed to learn something, but not only are you to take the lessons from what you feel like are the red flags, what you feel like this person did to you, you got to look at how you behaved in that relationship. You got to look at the things with you, the things that triggered you, why you felt certain ways and whatever it is that upset you, you've got to fix that in you. Because that's how all of those things come up. And that's really what relationships do. They kind of teach us what our triggers are and those things that we need to work on. I don't know if a lot of people get that. But that is what it's about. I want to ask you guys a question. Because dating it's not easy. It's not easy at any age. We have these conversations and I kind of open it up and we're looking at young women who are in this dating pool right now. But there are older women who are also in the dating pool, older people. So I want to ask you, what are your intentions in the dating world? Do you ask yourself that? Are you guys asking yourself, like, what are my intentions in the dating world? As we continue this conversation, I want you guys to think about that a little bit and tell us what your intentions are. And
that was actually you. It's like you literally read my mind, because that was going to be one of the key things I said when you're dating. That's one of the key questions that you ask that person. What exactly are your intentions? There's some people, y'all mind the baby, he just is talking. But some people, they date to be married. The intentions is the goal. Marriage is the goal. And some people, they're just dating just to be dating, maybe to have great companionship, but marriage is not the goal for everyone. So you got to have that clear communication as to what the goal is, because me personally, I date with intention. My goal is, for me personally, and I'm only speaking for Tori, is that my goal is to be married one day. So when I communicate that to someone, they say, well, that's not my thing. So then you're not the one for me. And
right.
we have that clear communication. So you have to have those hard conversations and clear conversations. What exactly do you want? Why do you want what? Like this, for example, there was this one guy a couple of weeks ago was like, well, I want your number. I'm like, why do you want my number? Well, I want to get to know. I want to get to know you. Want to get to know me for what? What is the goal? What is your intention? Well, maybe we can have fun. Fun how? Fun. What you mean? He
Right.
said, just to kick it. I know I ain't a kick it type of chick. No, I ain't the one. So no, I don't need to give you my number. But
well,
you got to have clear communication.
You're right, and I've heard people say that a lot. Both men and women have said that they date with the intention of marriage. And I've also heard that. But for me, that's not quite clear enough for me. Because if you tell me that you're dating with the intention of marriage, well, I want to know, like, why do you want to be married? Like, what is marriage going to offer for you from me? I want to know, for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
before it gets to anything that has to do with marriage, because we are dating first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeking like a genuine connection. I'm seeking personal growth, someone who's willing to help me grow, someone that we might be able to build something. What is that? I want to know what that thing is. I don't exactly want to hear that you're dating with the intention for marriage. I think people hear that and they think that sounds good, and maybe it does. But I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. I want to
Trust
know,
me,
like, what that means.
it's a whole lot deeper, and what your definition may be different from mine, but it's deeper than just saying the goal for marriage. And then that's a conversation that we would have. So absolutely, there's a deeper
Right.
conversation to be had. But like some people just out here just wanting to just you know what I mean, sleep with you, and that's not where I am. Because I had one guy that literally tell me, well, when you get ready to, you want to go that route, do that, then give me a holler. So okay, I won't be calling you. And Reggie says, I really like what Tanya says. People really do it to themselves. Accountability. And that's the thing. A lot of pain we cause on ourselves. We really do. Because I know I'm guilty of that. You cause pain. Some of the pain that we receive is self-inflicted because
Right.
we should have moved on.
We didn't pay attention to the flags.
Did not. And Miss Bromell says, I would like to be married one day, but if I don't get married, I will still be okay. Now you have to ask what type of marriage people want. That too, that's
Right.
very key because some people they look at marriage for a business opportunity, a business deal, or so to speak. Me personally, I'm old fashioned. I still believe in genuinely loving people and genuinely, I don't look at it as just it look good on paper. That if you want to be me because it look good on paper, then I'm not your girl. I want to genuinely be in love with somebody.
I
Genuinely
got
be,
you.
what I mean? And sometimes we go through life. Some of us will never experience that type of love, a
Well,
genuine type of love.
I tell you what, I feel like I can love you, but I don't have to marry you. I don't have to be your wife to love you, and you certainly don't have to be my husband.
That's true too. But I want more. Me personally, I want more. See, you've been married before. I've never been married. So I want to experience marriage and I want to
I got
experience
you.
it.
You
And I
want to
want
don't say I want to experience marriage. I think words are very important, and I feel like we have to be very clear. I think that's what gets us in a lot of trouble as well. I think you should say, just like you say, you have purpose. Say I want to experience a good marriage.
a healthy marriage.
Okay.
A healthy marriage, a healthy, loving marriage, not just the experience of just now. You're right. You have to be careful with your words because I don't want to say experience marriage and just be married to be married. No, 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 no.
Right.
I don't want that. I want a healthy, loving marriage.
Yeah, because
So let
there's
me
a lot of marriages that you have no idea what's going on behind that front door. You know, they're
Mhm.
sleeping in separate bedrooms. They can't stand each other. They just there.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
don't
know.
want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And Reggie says courting and dating is two different things. Courting is one purposes. Dating is many experiences to be met. That part, Reggie. Yeah, they're courting.
I like
I
that.
want to be court. I want to be courted.
Hmm.
That's exactly right. And see, with dating, I was watching. I don't remember what it was, but someone was saying that's why that's why I don't like to watch too many things because you don't want to have too many voices in your ear.
Hmm.
But I was listening to someone, they were saying, what exactly is the purpose of dating as opposed to courting? If the goal is marriage, then shouldn't you court somebody? And see, back to something you said earlier, you remember you said when it comes to dating, you can date multiple people. See, everybody's definition of dating is different. Like there are some people that say dating you can date multiple people that have multiple conversations. Me personally, if I'm courting someone, I can't be having a whole bunch of conversations going on. That's just me. Like,
Well, guess what? I can have more than one friend. So I don't. That's how I feel about it. I can date more than one person the same way I can have more than one friend. I think where people are having the biggest conflict, and I'll keep going back to this, is because women are afraid of being called a ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And one thing that we should also make clear is that dating does not mean that you are having sexual activities with everyone that you're going out on a date with. You're not. That's a totally different thing. We're not talking about that. If that is what you're doing, that is also your business. That is also your business. But that is not the case. Your dating is a process to me of getting to learn to know someone, getting to know if I like to date you again. Date number 1, will there be a number 2? Date number 2, will there be 3? 1 month in, will I like you 6 months from now? Maybe not. Because people don't present themselves, they don't. They don't present themselves on the first date. There's representatives out here. You're on your best behavior. People can be on their best behavior for a few years. I just tend to think you don't even really know a person until a few years down the line. You really don't, because you've got to see how they are going to experience different things. You haven't gone through enough or been through enough to really know if this is the person that I want to say, yeah, we can spend a bit more of our lives together. Let me see how they handle different situations. Have you gone through some financial changes? Have you gone through some job changes? What big decisions are we making, or how do we handle making big decisions? You don't figure those things out necessarily, within, first few dates or whatever the case may be. So you don't know this person. You don't know if you want to marry him. And then sometimes figuring out if that person just really wants to sleep with you, you figure that out very quickly. They don't respond to you the same.
Right.
They don't. When they don't get what they want, the calls are different. The attention is different. When they feel like you have to give them all of the attention, that you must be the initiator, and then if you don't do it, they don't, then that's not the person. Next.
Right.
Stop being afraid to say next. Even if it's someone that you're attracted to, next. You've been wrong about things before. You can be wrong about an attraction. It's okay.
Absolutely. And Miss Barbara says, I'm looking for love, companionship, someone to experience things with and grow old with. We have to be compatible in spiritually, family, devotion, and giving back to the community. This is a loaded question, as I'm a widower and miss what I had.
Wow. I understand.
And Tanya says, I've been married, now divorced for 6 years. I'm not dating at all. I just keep friendships and go with the flow of things.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
wrong with that. I see Veronica Davis saying that part. I don't know which part she talking about, Tori, because we be blabbing and
Probably what you were saying. That probably when you were saying about when I made a comment about the dating thing, and you said that's you went into explaining your views on that. I think that's what she's referring to. And Veronica also says, right, you meet a lot of representations in the beginning. Now we married, and the real you show up, and you asking yourself, who the hello is this person?
Yes. Yes. I know exactly what she's talking about, because I know of a particular relationship where, let me just pause a minute because I don't want to give too much stuff away.
Listen,
I know a particular person who got married and thinking it was her Prince Charming, right? And do you know, on the honeymoon, he choked her. And I don't mean in that way. I mean abusive.
Yeah. Oh,
he beat her behind on the honeymoon.
Wow.
First time that's happened. But I said to myself, I don't know how he hid that all that time, but she stands by that was the first time that he was physically abusive to her. So there were some red flags that clearly she missed, because the abuse she experienced seems to me that couldn't just come he held that like that. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. On the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Hours after I do.
Oh man. And Tanya says, I can't date. I don't want to be out in public nor conversing with a lot of dudes because my patience is slim. Sorry. I
Well, I
understand.
mean that's your choice. That's your choice. Just go ahead, go ahead out of town on a little date. You ain't it ain't got to be local. Go somewhere where people don't know you. Speaking from not personal experience, maybe it is. I will not confirm or deny.
What's up, Sonyetta? She said, hey, my sisters, I'm late to the class. Listen, no matter be late, you're here. And you can always hit that replay button.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sonya also says, okay, we're talking about one of my favorite topics, giving the benediction.
Okay, we will let you do that. Thank you for saying that. And it getting ready to be real soon because it's already been 55 minutes, Tori.
Wow. Lord have mercy. Time
But the
goes by
thing,
so fast.
it does. It does. Now, relationships are challenging. Let's just be honest about that. It is, but it doesn't have to be. Dating is supposed to be an experience of fun. You're supposed to have fun. That's what it's about. But you've really got to know how to navigate the challenges of relationships. Just like anything else that you want to work, you have to have certain strategies. You have to have those strategies so that you make sure that you maintain a healthy and positive mindset, as well as make sure that you're paying attention to the things that you need to be paying attention to. You need to have a support system. And I mean, you need to have your strong support system. You shouldn't be one of these young women or thinking like, I don't want nobody in my business. And you out here and nobody don't know where you at and you don't put yourself in danger, girl. You need to make sure that you do that. You need to know, you need to define for yourself, like come up with your own definition of what a successful relationship is for you so that you're able to ask for that because you deserve that. So you got to be able to ask yourself, what does a successful relationship look like to me? And am I actually working towards it being successful? So don't look for the person to do everything. And then don't be the person to do everything. There is a balance. That's why it is a relationship. And also within a relationship, you still have to consider your individuality. You have to. You got to be able to celebrate yourself. You got to be able to embrace your own uniqueness, your own successes. And if you cannot do that, if your uniqueness and your individuality causes a problem in your relationship, you got a problem, girl, because that person has a problem with you. If they have a problem with your individuality and your uniqueness, your job status, if they have a problem with that, they have a problem with you. And you have a problem if you don't see that as a red flag and if you're not willing to move on. Love is not that difficult. Love is not that hard to find. Do not believe that. If you need to send that man a picture of Lori Harvey so that he know that it's over and you moving on, do that. Or send it to yourself. Next.
Oh goodness, that was funny to me. I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the comments while you were saying I saw Kelly comment with the eyes, and then I was reading the other comments, but not sending the Lori Harvey comment picture.
Well, you might not want to do that. He already all crazy. So, but I'm just saying, think Lori. When you in those situations, think Lori, girl.
And Sonyetta says we get to teach people how to treat us. Take time to know yourself so an imposter can't convince you that you are someone else. That is
Come on now.
correct.
Come on. I think we going over an hour today.
And Maya says, great topic today. I first met my husband when we were teens, reunited as adults. We had a beautiful courtship of learning each other as adults, and 5 years after reuniting, we were married. Bottom line is know who you're with. If you buy cornflakes, it's not going to become frosted flakes after you get it home. My 2 cents. That's good right there.
It's not. Thank you, Maya. I want to use that. She said, if you buy cornflakes, it's not going to become frosted flakes after you get it home. And let me add something to that. Just because you put sugar on it, you can't put sugar on shit and make it sweet. I don't know. Like, I'm old school. I don't know where y'all from. I'm old school in a little country. I know sometimes my accent may dip in and out of it. But let me just tell you something. You can't put no sugar on that thing to make it sweet. It's a bad relationship. That ain't for you. You in danger, girl.
Yeah. And Veronica says, woo, this good. KJ says, I have a Lori Harvey meme if anyone needs it. Hey, KJ, send that to me.
Next. And I don't care if he met your mama and your whole family. I don't care. Let me tell you something. I done had folks who feel like because they met my family that got them in. Because just because my family like you don't mean I won't leave you. Ask them.
And Kelly talking about the first 3 months you meet the representative. Shoot.
Hey, Kelly.
Listen. 3 months, 6 months, sometimes even 9 months, that representative still showing up.
For real. Yo, let me tell you something. Kelly is a real one. Kelly be at the cigars, cocktails, and conversations. And if you want a brother who gonna tell you the truth, the way the truth need to be told from a male perspective, I love me some Kelly. He ain't holding nothing back.
Nothing. Maya says adding sugar will not change who they really are. Will not. And Sonyetta says, come on, sugar.
I'm saying.
Sonya says, LOL, Lori is the poster child for boy bye.
Listen, Sonya, I see, you done gave it 2 words. I just broke it down to 1. Next. Y'all putting too much into it.
Kimberly says, I sure enjoyed church today. Great input from hosts, and the comment thread was on point. KJ, you wow.
That's your niece. That's your niece.
Gloria says, okay. Miss Tanya, I haven't heard that statement in a long time. You can't put sugar on and make it sweet.
Come on, Miss Gloria. You come on. You know the old school country women know. See, I listen to stuff that my grandma used to say, and I'm gonna share it because I feel like not enough mamas have been saying that. We gonna bring it back. Yeah.
And Reggie says, let me know if this is a truth. One of the greatest truths I tell young men dating. Never lie to any woman on a date or meeting them, because Lord knows women will lie to themselves if they like you enough. Ignore everything. All flags. It's a fantasy at first. That's true.
Well, you telling them some truth, sir. You telling them some truth. They shouldn't lie. You shouldn't lie, because if she doesn't like you for who you are, then that's telling you, like, next. You get to use the Lori too. Well, matter of fact, do the Common. You got Common. Women got Lori. Y'all got Common. Common ain't playing no games, okay? Common is a next brother.
And is.
Child, he
really
is. What somebody said in the comments, like he really is Common.
He living up to his name, Common.
I hate to laugh at that, but that was too cute.
KJ says the favorite niece.
Oh Lord. But I'm telling you guys, we've got to be able to define successful relationships for ourselves. We've got to be honest, and unfortunately, when those red flags were coming up, what appeared to be red flags for some of us in the Kiki situation, I felt like it became so much of a men versus women until, it allowed her to stay in a situation that could potentially have been dangerous. And if we do not know the truth of the details, this will still remain true. If he is willing to embarrass you like that in public, we already know he's doing something on a different level behind the closed doors. Because a person who loves you and knows the status of your career and your life and he cares about you, he is going to handle that situation with care. And he did not handle her with care. I'll say that, It just wasn't handled with a love and with a care.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at Kelly's comment, the 101 timestamp, because I've done that. He says the problem is people try and change them to the person they want them to be, but after a while, it's still a problem because they're no longer the person they fell in love with. Yeah, I've done that, so I know that to be true.
He's right, because and kind of what he's saying and what Reggie is saying kind of goes together, because they fell in love with the representation. So if you up here lying to this woman and making her think this, that, and the other, and she falling in love with someone that she doesn't even know who it is, and just like Kelly's previous conversation, like, that representation is going to be around for, a few months, a good few months. He's right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I personally have known representations that has last years. I don't trust you. We're going to go through some stuff so that I can see how you handle yourself under these situations. And I need to see how they're going to handle different things that I might go through in situations. And that's not going to be immediate.
Right.
Not going to be immediate.
Right. And then Sanford says, I keep saying it's true. We need to relearn the true definition of love, that godly love. Absolutely.
You saying something, but I mean, I love Stanford, and he's always going for the peaceful. He's always going for, hey, we got to go back to God. Yeah. But see, we're not in personal romantic relationships with God. You understand? We're not going on dates with God. So while that sounds great, people don't even know how to love God. So I'm not even coming from a point of view that, you got to love me in some type of godly way. You need to love yourself, and you need to respect yourself, so that when you meet me, a person who loves themselves and respects themselves, then you're going to be able to get along with me. You're going to be able to have conversations with me. You're going to be able to have experiences with me. And then when we figure out like, hey, maybe I don't like the way you get down. I liked it better from afar. We'll go back to that afar. And I'm going to go back over here. We're just trying to say that that's okay. People can't love you in a godly way when they don't even know how to love God. A lot of people don't even go to church no more. But that's a whole nother conversation.
And reading that comment from Sonya is 101's timestamp too. That was a good comment too.
My bad. Which one is Sonya?
101 timestamp, Sonya.
Okay.
And she says, after getting out of a long-term relationship, I decided to date myself until I'm ready to allow anyone else in my personal space happy with me. And that's actually where I am too, Sonya.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. You know? One person I dated disgusted me so much until like my interest in anyone has just been null and void. Just and not, maybe I shouldn't say disgusted, but I just let me be fair. It just made me know and realize that, hey, I'm not in a position to really be serious with anyone because I am not willing to put the time into that. I'm just not in a space where I want to put time into that, And so I had, and I'm honest with myself about that. I'm to a complete fault. Like men say they want that woman who's not going to nag them, or she's calling him all the time, texting him all the time, want to know where he is. Well, I'm that woman. I don't want to know where you are. I trust that if you say you at work, you at work. I'm not trying to track you down. I'm thinking you got things to do because I have things to do, right? But to a fault, I have been that way in every situation, relationship that I've been in, and it has not worked for me. And I see women who want to know where their man is, who calling their phone. They got them on like a tap. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that way. And I'm not going to force myself to be that way. But every time I have been that way, it has worked against me. I give too much leash. And I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. I need someone to just know who they are. I respect myself enough to know what I'm willing to do, and you don't have to worry about me. You don't have to know where I'm where I said I'm going to be. I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. If you checking up on me, you really getting on my nerves, because now you're showing me that you don't trust me. I don't like that. I don't like being accused of nothing. And I'm not getting ready to accuse you of anything, you know? So sometimes we give people stuff that they think that they want, and they don't even know what to do with it. And that happens. And that's when I have to do my Lori. Next.
Oh, goodness. And this last comment, Veronica says, I think the first relationship is with self. Date yourself and be okay with being by yourself so you won't be so quick to avoid the red flags. And that's exactly where let me tell you something. I was dating, like, go out. It was nothing for me to go out to lunch. I even go to the movies by myself. That way, a friend of mine say, I can't go to the movies by myself. I said, so you can't, you can't be by yourself. And it's like another thing somebody was saying, they can't, you know how sometimes if I'm riding in the car, I like to turn the music off and I like to ride in silence. It was like, I can't do that. I got to have some music or something, because when there's no music, I hear my thoughts. Okay, so what's on your mind so much you can't handle your own, you can't even handle your own thoughts. That was crazy to me.
That is. And you want to be in a relationship with somebody else. Right. Look at what Kelly's saying.
Kelly says, what about the ones who got to have joint Facebook accounts because of no trust? That just tells us somebody got caught cheating.
Listen, first of all, I didn't know that was a thing. I am not getting ready to have no joint, nothing. You not even get ready to identify yourself on my page. You can't find yourself on my timeline. Not in the beginning, not in the end.
Oh, Lord.
Because I don't feel like that's not a thing for me. I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, can I not have something? Can I not have something that is not someone else's business? Can I not?
Oh, goodness. Lord.
But that's crazy. He says somebody done got caught cheating, so they got to have a joint Facebook account. You better get out of my face. You can count on that.
Sonya says, that's it. I want to be healed and free from the residue of the past. I'm that woman too. I am not in the Build-A-Bear business, so I'm not trying to build someone to be who they are not. My son is 35 and I'm still raising him. Can't raise anyone else's son. I know that's right.
You understand me?
And Sonya says, Kelly, the devil is a lie. Sonya says, come on, Tanya. People don't even know I was dating someone. Didn't even know I was dating someone.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, Sonya, listen.
People don't know.
I'm glad she said that. Cause listen, me and Sonya have been rocking about 20 plus years. And Sonya's like, I broke up. I ain't know you. That's how private it was. I'm like, me and Sonya gotta go 20 years plus.
You not get ready to know my business. I'll be out in the same room and you won't know.
Now that's private. I can private. I dig it. Kelly says, Sonyetta Cooper, that ain't about to fly.
Y'all cutting up now. Y'all acting like me.
And Veronica says, right, people were shocked when they found out I was getting married because it wasn't Facebook news. Listen.
Girl, child. Don't start me on Veronica now, because, child, I didn't know until it was her bridal shower and I was invited. I said, what the, where, what, huh, when, what?
Right.
Okay, I'm there. If you love them, I love them too. And I do.
That's how you do it, though. Sonya says, LOL. And Tony says, listen, Tony, you know what's up. Look at Sonya talking about, look at it. Sonya talking about, I know. I was surprised, Veronica. That's my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, Veronica, it was like that.
Incognito. Mm-hmm. Ain't but about 2, 3, 4 people know her and him.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Oh
but we know now when we supposed to know. We know exactly when we supposed to know.
Exactly, because that's the key. You know, a lot of times people you're dating and you posting, but if you're gonna post, don't post until it's permanent.
Listen, it ain't even got to be permanent, because that thing can become unpermanent. Have we not learned nothing from Lori?
No, you know.
No, I know I'm messing around. But ain't no such thing as permanent. That thing can be over. It can.
Oh
I want to make sure, let me tell y'all guys something. Make sure you don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you join family. Make sure you like, because we want people to know that we're having these conversations. I really find a whole lot of difficulty in asking you guys to do this, but I have to. You got to hit this like. This is what makes people know that we're having conversations that people are actually interested in having. And it's going to allow more people to get in the conversation. And we're going to have a better conversation. I want you guys to go over to YouTube and make sure that you subscribe. I'm easy to find. MsTonya TV. You know how to spell it. MsTonya TV. Like the thing you don't watch no more. And it's very easy for you to find. Keep the Faith with Tori. You see it right there on the screen? Keep your faith with Tori. We on YouTube, y'all. We in these streets.
And is.
All right. Moving right along.
And Reggie says, in the end of this great convo, I enjoy the accountability of the choices, whether dating or courting or marriage. All this topic begins and ends with our choices. I loved it. Keep your eyes on your goals in dating. That's what's up, Reggie.
You know what, man? You wrapped that whole thing up. And I'm glad you did, because, I'm just going to switch over to the flyer that we promoted here, and it was, you see it. You see it. It's Love or Let Go, Kiki and Lori Lessons. And the reason why, we chose to advertise it like this is because you got to love or you got to let go. And it's Kiki and Lori Lessons. We're not in here to talk about the gossip part of it. We're trying to figure out, like, what can we learn from this? How is this going to help us be better? And we got so far into conversation so very quickly that Tori didn't even give her verse for the day. Tori, you want to give it to him now? What you want? Tell me what you want to do.
Yes, we can definitely do that. The baby's laughing in the background, y'all. I was playing with him. It comes from 1 Corinthians 5:11. But now I'm writing to you that you must not associate with anyone who claims to be a brother or sister, but is sexually immoral or greedy. I can never say that right. An idolater or a slanderer, a drunkard or a swindler. Do not even eat with such people. Woo! That's good.
That's praises.
Good. Listen, the baby just looking at me laughing like, girl, what is you talking about? Now, Ton, I was just about to say, you got to put this up there. Veronica says, girl, I was married for 3 years before I changed my last name. And asked what I was waiting for. I said, trying to make sure I'm going to keep you.
Listen, girl, I'm so glad you said that, because who in the world want to be going through changing all your you got to change all of your identification, your credit cards, your social security card. You got to get all them name change. I don't blame you, girl. I don't blame you. That's why I kept my maiden name for a long time, because I was like, that Mormon gonna come right on back in handy. I felt it in my blood. I love my babies, but I knew doggone well that Mormon was coming right on back to join me. It ain't going nowhere. All right, y'all. We had a good conversation. Just recognize those flags. Recognize when you have that community breakdown, when you really have that lack of trust, when there are control issues, when there's inconsistencies, if there's disrespect, when there's lack of accountability. Recognize when there's unhealthy patterns. Recognize those things. Recognize when they isolate you from your support systems, when you have mixed match values, when they have manipulative behaviors, they're gaslighting you and distorting reality. They're emotionally blackmailing you, putting you on guilt trips, online, publicly. They're using emotions to gain control. That's not where you need to be. What you need to do is do what Lori. You understand me?
Andrew says, Tanya, girl, you said a mouthful. And she did. Ain't nothing left for me to say but tell y'all bye. It's been all right. Tuesday. Peace out, y'all, because Tanya done said it all.
All right. Well, it's always good having a conversation with you, Tori. You know, I always love talking about Tuesdays. We always got to have something that we got to talk about. There's a whole lot going on in these internet streets. It is. But do we just want to get into the gossip of it? Or we just clicking on it because we're feeding that nosy gossip little monger inside of us? I hope not. I hope you're able to learn something. I hope you can take something from it. I hope that you can share something. All right? We get ready to get out of here because we way over our time. I ask you guys one more time to make sure that you like, subscribe, tell somebody that MsTonya TV is having conversations. Tori and MsTonya having conversations on Tuesday. They gonna talk it out. But the big thing is, you're having that conversation with us. All right? Y'all get back to your day. I hope your lunch break was good. If you're listening to us still, I don't want you to get fired. Take them headphones out in a few minutes. But before you do, take this little breath work with us. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. And don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. All right? Y'all be great out here. That's what we do. One love, y'all.